Hello students, I am Sir Glenn, your subject teacher. Welcome to Pre-Calculus! Our first lesson is all about circles. But before that, let's have an overview of conic sections. Conic sections, or simply conics, is a particular class of curves which oftentimes appear in nature and which have applications in other fields. These include circle, ellipse, parabola, and hyperbola. One of the first shapes we learned, a circle, is a conic. So, if you look around us, marami tayong makikitang hugis bilog. Like, yung gulong na isang sasakyan or yung plate na ating pinagkakainan. When you throw a ball, the trajectory it takes is a parabola. So, if you try to throw a ball upwards at kapag babalik na siya sa'yo at sasaluhin mo siya, yung trajectory niya, ang tawag doon ay parabola. The orbit taken by each planet around the Sun is an ellipse. Or in short, yan yung tinatawag natin usually na oblong. Properties of hyperbolas have been used in the design of certain telescopes and navigation systems. Ang hyperbola ang pinaka hindi familiar sa atin. So, don't worry, it will be elaborated as days pass by. Ano nga ba ang conic sections? Paano nabubuo ang mga conic sections? So definitely, ang mga conic sections, these are the intersection of cones and a plane. Okay, as you can see in the illustrations, may dalawa tayong cone at may plane. Okay, isang plane surface. In the first figure, yung nasa baba, this one, this is a circle when the plane is horizontal. So kapag yung plane ay horizontal at in-intersect niya si cone, as you can see, ang mafo-form dyan, ang mafo-form ito, that is a circle. Yung ellipse naman, still in the first figure, when the tilted plane intersects only one cone to form a bounded curve. So ito naman siya, yung nasa taas. So as you can see, yung plane, which is this one, tilted siya. Hindi siya straight, naka-slant siya. Okay? Then, yung parabola naman, which is this one, figure 1.2, when the plane intersects only one cone to form an unbounded curve. So as you can see, nung in-intersect ni plane yung isang cone at ang nabuo ay hindi bounded, unbounded siya as compared kay ellipse, nung in-intersect nung plane yung cone, bounded yung curve. Okay, wala siyang opening. Pero nung mas naging steep yung plane, mas grabe yung pagiging slant niya, as you can see, unbounded siya. Okay, meron siyang opening sa part na to. And that is a parabola. And lastly, yung hyperbola, which is here, sa part na to, when the plane, not necessarily vertical, intersects both cones to form two unbounded curves, each called a branch of the hyperbola. Okay, so, nung in-intersect ni plane, yung cone, at dalawang cone yung na-intersect niya, not necessarily vertical. As you can see, may dalawang branches na nabuo. Ang tawag dyan ay hyperbola. Okay? We can draw these conic sections, also called conics, on a rectangular coordinate plane and find their equation. So may mga equations ang apat na conic sections na ito. Okay? So there are other ways for a plane and the cones to intersect to form what are referred to as degenerate conics. These are a point, one line, and two lines. So you can see, dun sa figure 1.4, yung plane at yung dalawang cone nag-intersect. The plane intersected the cone horizontally, and then dun siya sa gitna ng dalawang cone. So definitely ang nabuo ay isang point lang. Okay? And then yung pangalawa naman na figure 1.5, yung plane nag-intersect siya kay dalawang cones And as you can see, walang nabuo na curve. Ang nabuo ay isang straight line. Then yung pangatlong figure, figure 1.6, the plane intersected the two cones vertically. Kapag hahatiin mo siya into two equal parts, ang mabubuo ay dalawang intersecting lines. Okay? Before we start discussing circles, let's try to recall these important formulas. Slope, distance formula, and the midpoint formula. Slope of the line. Given line L containing two distinct points, P sub 1, which contains coordinates x sub 1, y sub 1, and the point P sub 2, which has coordinates x sub 2, y sub 2, where x sub 1 should not be equal to x sub 2, then the slope m of line L is computed as m of L is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 all over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So example, the slope of the line with points 5, 1, and 7, negative 3 is negative 2. Papaano naging negative 2 ang slope ng line na may dalawang points na 5, 1, and 7, negative 3? So syempre, let's identify first the values of x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, and y sub 2. So I consider this one as the first point, x sub 1, y sub 1, and then this one as the second point, x sub 2 and y sub 2. Okay, so don't worry kahit magkapalit tong dalawang to, y sub 1 minus y sub 2 all over x sub 1 minus x sub 2, same lang din ang magiging result. As long as kapag pinagpalitan nyo yung nasa taas, dapat pagpapalitan nyo din yung nasa baba. Okay? So, substituting these values doon sa ating formula, we have negative 3, which is y sub 2 is negative 3, y sub 1 is positive 1 all over x sub 2 is 7, x sub 1 is 5. So, negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4, 7 minus 5 is 2, negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. This is our slope. The second formula is the distance formula. The distance between 2 points P sub 1 and P sub 2 on the Cartesian plane is given as P, or the distance between P sub 1 and P sub 2, is equal to the square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. So, just like what I've said in the formula for the slope of a line, pwede rin itong pagpalitan as long as pagpapalitan mo din yung sa y. Pwedeng mauna si x sub 1 dito, x sub 1 minus x sub 2, as long as y sub 1 yung mauna din dito, y sub 1 minus y sub 2. Same lang din ang magiging result. Example, the distance between the 2 points 1, 6, and 4, 2 is 5. So, paano siya na-obtain? Syempre, just like in the previous example, let's identify which is x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, and y sub 2. And after identifying the given, it's time to substitute these values doon sa ating formula. So, d is equal to x sub 2 is 4, kaya 4 yung nakalagay dyan, minus x sub 1 is 1. 4 minus 1 squared plus y sub 2 is 2, and y sub 1 is 6. 2 minus 6. 4 minus 1 is 3 squared plus 2 minus 6 negative 4 squared. Simplifying, we have 3 squared is 9, negative 4 squared is 16. 9 plus 16 is 25. Square root of 25 is 5. Sir, bakit 5 lang? Kasi ang square root of 25 ay both positive and negative. Bakit ang kinonsider lang natin ay positive? Positive 5 lang yung kinonsider natin kasi we are talking about distance. Walang negative na distance. Understood? Positive lang ang distance. Lastly, the midpoint formula. Given line K containing two distinct points, P sub 1 and P sub 2, then the midpoint M sub K xy of line K is computed as M of K xy is equal to this formula. So as you can see, pinag-add lang yung dalawang x's, dinivide sa 2, pinag-add lang din yung dalawang y's, dinivide sa 2, yun yung midpoint. Okay, dinivide yung line into 2 equal parts. Example, the midpoint of the line with points 5, 1, and 7, negative 3 is 6 and negative 1. So, paano yan nakuha? Just like in the previous examples, let's identify the given. X sub 1 is 5, y sub 1 is 1, x sub 2 is 7, y sub 2 is negative 3. Substituting these in this formula, we have x sub 1 is 5, x sub 2 is 7, y sub 1 is 1, y sub 2 is negative 3, then all over 2. Then 5 plus 7 is 12, divided by 2 is 6. 1 minus 3 is negative 2, divided by 2 is negative 1. Therefore, this is the midpoint of the line. Okay? For the activity, do activity 1 entitled Decoding Message. Again, all of the outputs, the deadline of all the outputs will be Friday. Let's start with the definition and equation of a circle. As you can see, the circle is in the Cartesian plane. Let C be a given point. So this is point C. The set of all points P, this one, having the same distance from C is called a circle. The point C is called the center of the circle, and the common distance is radius. Okay, so sa part na to, hindi lang ito yung point P. The set of all points P having the same distance, kapag pinagsama-sama tong lahat ng to, at kapag pinag-connecta natin yung mga dots na nandito, it will form a circle. Ito, ang tawag dito ay center, at ang tawag dito ay radius. Okay? Radius is the distance from any point to the center of a circle. The term radius is both used to refer to a segment from the center C to a point P on the circle, and the length of this segment. Okay? So, radius ay yung distance nito at yung length ng segment na to. Okay? Standard form of the equation of a circle with center at HK and radius R. So, it goes like this. In deriving the standard form of the equation of a circle, we use the distance formula. So, ano ba yung distance formula natin? We have D is equal to square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. So, let's start with the definition. Sinabi kanina na si R ay pareho lang din sa distance ni P at ni C. So, let's use that definition. PC is equal to R. Okay? So, again, PC is the distance between point P and point C here. So, substituting x, y, and hk to the distance formula, we have square root of x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to, we simply bring down r. And for us to remove the square root symbol here, we square both sides. So doing so, it will give us x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. So definitely, this is the standard form of the equation of a circle with center hk and radius r. Yeah, so this is the standard form of the equation of the circle. If the center is at the origin, kapag nasa origin naman yung center, then h will be equal to 0 and k will also be equal to 0. The standard equation is then x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. Okay? Examples. Example number 1. Write the equation of a circle in standard form with radius 3 and center at the center. So, solution, of course, since nasabi na dyan na ang center ay at the origin, ang gagamitin nating formula ay si x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. So, what are we going to do here? We will simply substitute 3 kay r. Okay, so it will be x squared plus y squared is equal to 3 squared. So, simplifying this, we have x squared plus y squared is equal to 9. So therefore, this is the standard form of the equation of a circle with radius 3 and center at the origin. Second example, write the equation of a circle in standard form with radius 5 and center at the origin as well. So, pareho lang siya ni example number 1. So, solution, we use this formula kasi nabanggit na rin doon sa given na ang center ay nasa origin. So, we disregard the h and k. Okay? So, we will substitute 5 kay r. And then, simplifying 5 squared, we have x squared plus y squared is equal to 25. So, this is the standard form of the equation of a circle with radius 5 and center at the origin. Okay? For the exercise, do exercise 1, which contains the following. Write the equation of a circle given the center and radius. So, there are 3 items. You answered this exercise in your notebook, and again, the submission of all outputs will be on Friday. For the third example, write the equation of a circle centered at 3, -5 and with radius 6. So as you can see in this example, hindi na sa origin yung center, kundi at point 3, -5. So, aling formula ang gagamitin natin? The formula will be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. Okay, so anong gagawin dyan? Isa-substitute lang natin C3 kay h, C5 kay k, at C6 kay r. So, doing so, we have x minus 3 squared plus y minus -5 squared is equal to 6 squared. So, take note, kapag ang isa sa coordinates, yung nandoon sa h and k, kapag may negative doon, as much as possible, i-enclose natin siya kay parenthesis. Understood? Kasi yung operation na gagawin ay subtraction. If hindi mo yan i-enclose kay parenthesis, magkakamali tayo. Okay? Magkakamali ka ng magiging sagot. Understood? So, we bring down x minus 3 squared, and then y minus -5 negative times negative will be positive. Okay, so y plus 5 squared is equal to 6 squared is equal to 36. So, this is the standard form of the equation of a circle whose center is at 3, -5 and whose radius is 6. For the fourth example, write the equation of a circle centered at -1, -4, and with radius square root of 7. So, similar lang sila in example number 3. Okay, so ang gagamitin nating formula ay of course yung formula na mayroong h and k. So, what are we going to do? We will substitute -1 kay h, we will substitute -4 kay k, at we will substitute square root of 7 kay r. So, as you can see, yung h and k natin ay parehong negative. So, we will enclose them in a parenthesis. Okay, so x minus -1 squared plus y minus -4 squared is equal to square root of 7 squared. So, doing so, we have negative times negative is positive, x plus 1 squared. Negative times negative is positive, y plus 4 squared is equal to square root of 7 squared. We can cancel this and cancel this one. Ang may iwan ay 7. So, definitely, this is the standard form of the equation of a circle whose center is at -1 and -4 and whose radius is equivalent to square root of 7. Okay? For the activity, you do activity 2 entitled The Magic Word. Again, the submission of all outputs will be on Friday. The standard form of the equation of a circle with center at hk and radius r can be presented in another form called the general form of the equation of a circle by squaring the binomials and collecting the terms. This is the general form of the equation of a circle. X squared plus y squared plus dx plus ey plus f is equal to 0, where d, e, and f can be any real number. Okay, so papaano natin tinatransform si standard form into general form? As it has been mentioned here, we square the binomials. I-expand natin siya. And then kapag na-expand na natin siya, we collect the terms. Pagsasamahin natin yung mga magkaparehong terms. Okay? So, squaring the binomial, so that means kailangan nating i-recall yung special product natin, yung knowledge natin sa special products, kasi it will be easier for us to transform a standard form to its equivalent general form kapag alam natin yun. Okay? Example. Transform the following to its general form. X minus 2 squared plus y plus 1 squared is equal to 9. For the solution, watch this video. Also, for this example, how do we transform a standard equation to its general form? So, as much as possible, kailangan nating i-recall yung special products natin kasi mas madali for us to transform the standard form of a circle to its general form. So, we expand this. So, if familiar pa sa inyo yung special product, squaring a binomial, so we have x squared, and then the middle term of the product will be twice the product of the first and the second term. So, negative 2 times x is negative 2x times 2 is negative 4x. And then the last term of the trinomial is the square of the last term of the binomial. So negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. And then here, same process, y times y is y squared. Y times 1 is y times 2 is 2y. Then 1 times 1 is 1, then is equal to 9. Next one, we combine similar terms. So, paano natin siya i-combine? And as we combine similar terms, we arrange na rin siya in the proper arrangement doon sa pinakita doon sa general form. So, we have x squared followed by y squared followed by the term with x, the term with y, then 4 plus 1 is 5 is equal to 9. So, yan na ba ang sagot? Hindi pa. So, kailangan pa nating ilipat si 9 going to the left side kasi in our general form, dapat 0 yung maiwan doon sa right side. So, this will be, we simply copy x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 2y plus 5, and then transposing positive 9 to the left side, it will be negative 9 is equal to 0. So, combining the constant terms, we have x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 2y, 5 minus 9 is negative 4 is equal to 0. This is the general form of the circle. Okay? For the sixth example, example number 6, transform the following to its general form. X plus 3 squared plus y minus 4 squared is equal to 27. For the solution, watch this video. This is the second example in how to transform a standard equation to its general form. Okay, so x plus 3 squared plus y minus 4 squared is equal to 27. Again, we expand the binomials, okay? The terms being squared. So, itong part na to, and itong part na to, i-expand natin siya. Okay, so x squared, and then twice the product of x and 3 is 6x. And then we square the last term. So 3 times 3 is 9. And we proceed here. Y minus 4 squared. We have y times y is y squared. Then twice the product of y and negative 4 is negative 4 times y is negative 4y times 2 is negative 8y. And then the last term will be the square of the last term of the binomial. Negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. Then is equal to 27. So, we arrange na the terms in the arrangement that is
shown in the slides. Okay, so x squared followed by the term with y squared, and followed by the term with x, followed by the term with y, and then the constants. Okay, so plus 9 plus 16 is equal to 27. So we break down x squared, then y squared, then 6x minus 8y. 9 plus 16 is positive 25 is equal to 27. So, as much as possible sa general form, dapat lahat ng terms doon sa right, ilipat natin sa left. Ang may iwan doon sa right, dito sa part nito ay 0. So, how can we do that? We transpose 27 doon sa left. Okay, papunta sa left. So, x squared plus y squared plus 6x minus 8y plus 25 minus 27 is equal to 0. Then x squared plus y squared plus 6x minus 8y. 25 minus 27 is negative 2 is equal to 0. Kapag nakita mo na wala nang pwedeng i-combine na similar terms, ibig sabihin, you've arrived at the correct answer already. Okay, so therefore, the general form is x squared plus y squared plus 6x minus 8y minus 2 is equal to 0.
If the equation of a circle is given in its general form, the center and radius of the circle can be determined by transforming it to standard form using the completing the square method. Okay, so papaano daw kapag ang given ay general form at ang hinahanap, kailangan nating hanapin yung center at radius. Possible yon kapag alam mo kung papaano i-transform pabalik from general form into standard form yung given na equation. Okay, so papaano daw natin gagawin yon? We can do that by transforming the transforming the general form to standard form gamit yung completing the square method. Okay? To transform the equation x squared plus y squared plus dx plus ey plus f is equal to 0 to this standard form, the following steps can be followed. Rewrite the equation if needed so that the coefficient of the squared terms is 1. The terms with variables are on the left side of the equation and the constant term is on the right side. Second step, group the terms with common variables together. Pagsamahin yung mga may x, pagsamahin lahat ng may y. Add the square of half the coefficient of x and y on both sides of the resulting equation. The left side of the equation becomes a perfect square trinomial. And lastly, factor the resulting perfect square trinomials. Example number 7. Determine the standard form, center, and radius of the circle whose equation is x squared plus y squared minus 14x plus 2y is equal to negative 14. For the solution, watch this video. Okay, so in this example, we will determine the standard form, the center, and the radius of a circle kapag ang given ay ang kanyang general form. Okay, so we are asked to identify the standard form, center, and radius of x squared plus y squared minus 14x plus 2y is equal to negative 14. So, anong method ang gagamitin natin? We use the completing the square method. Okay, so first step, make sure na ang numerical coefficients ni x squared at ni y squared ay 1. So looking at our given, si x squared at si y squared, both of their coefficients is already 1. Let's move on to the second step. Ano yung second step? Make sure na lahat ng constant terms, ibig sabihin, yung mga terms na walang variable, lahat dapat sila ay nasa right side na. So, looking at the given, ang ating kaisa-isang constant term which is si positive 14 ay nasa, negative 14 ay nasa right side na ng ating equal symbol. So, let's proceed now to our third step. Ano yung pangatlong step? We group the terms according to their variables. Pagsamasamahin lahat ng may x at pagsamasamahin din ang lahat ng may y. Okay, so this will be x squared, then negative 14x
plus y squared and then positive 2y, we bring down negative 14. Pangatlong step, we add to both sides the square of half the coefficients of x and y. I-add daw natin sa magkabilang side yung square ng kalahati ng coefficients ni x at ni y. Okay, so in this part, let's focus our attention kay x. Okay, so ano yung coefficient ni x? The coefficient of x is negative 14. Okay, so i-divide natin yan sa 2 para makomplete yung trinomial na to into a perfect square trinomial. Okay, so negative 14 divided by 2 is negative 7. After obtaining the half of the coefficient of x, i-square naman natin siya. Okay, so negative 14 divided by 2 is negative 7. Negative 7 times negative 7 is positive 49. So this will be x squared minus 14x plus 49. So kapag nag-add tayo dito, make sure na mag-add din tayo doon sa kabila. Okay? Kasi kapag ginawa mo yan, para ka lang din nagdagdag ng 0. Parang wala ka din dinagdag. This will be negative 14 plus 40. Okay, so let's proceed now sa y. We bring down y squared, we bring down 2y. What is the coefficient of y? The coefficient of y is 2. Okay, so i-divide natin yung coefficient na yan into 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and then 1 squared, or 1 times 1 is equal to 1. So idadagdag natin ito, yung 1 dito, at magdadagdag din tayo ng 1 doon sa kabila. So these are perfect square trinomials already. Okay, so kapag perfect square trinomial na sila, ang factors nila iisa lang at ilalagyan natin ng squared doon sa taas. Okay, so how do we factor out this one? It goes this way. So you pay attention. Ang factors nito, perfect square trinomial, paano kunin? Definitely, yung first term ng ating factor ay ang square root ng first term ni trinomial. So square root of x squared is x. Square root of 49 is 7. Ito naman ang magiging second term ng ating binomial. At ang sign nila, ang operation that separates the two, nakadepende doon sa middle term, yung sign ng middle term ng trinomial. Since negative ito, negative, or subtraction yung operation that divides the two, that separates the two. Don't forget to include squared. Okay? Plus, the square root of y squared is y. Square root of 1 is 1. The operation of the sign of the middle term of the trinomial is positive. Don't forget to include the squared. And then this will be 49 plus 1 is 50. 50 minus 14 is 36. Okay, so this is the standard form of the circle. Kaintindihan? So paano malalaman yung center niyan? So we focus our attention here. Okay, this is the value of h. This is the value of k. In our standard form, ang formula ay x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. Ang center natin ay ch at ck. So, as you can see, kapag negative silang dalawa, ang kukunin natin, ang i-consider natin ay yung positive equivalent nilang dalawa. Nakakaintindihan? So, in this case, since negative ito, ang kukunin natin ay yung positive counterpart niya, which is 7. Then the value of k will be, since positive ito, ang kukunin natin, ang i-consider natin ay yung negative counterpart niya, which is negative 1. Okay, so this is the center. Understood? And then our radius will be r squared is equal to 36. Para makuha yung value ni r, we extract square roots. Yan, cancel. R is equal to positive 6. Okay?
Another example, determine the standard form, center, and radius of the circle whose equation is x squared plus y squared minus 4x is equal to 5. For the solution, watch this video.
This is the second example in identifying the standard form, the center, and the radius of a circle given its general form. Okay, so of course we will be using again the completing the square method. So make sure na lahat ng squared terms, ang coefficient nila ay 1. So since si x squared at si y squared, ang coefficients nilang dalawa ay 1, we can proceed to the second step. Okay? Lahat ba ng constant terms ay nasa right side na? Yes. Nasa right side na yung constant term natin, which is 5. So let's proceed doon sa third na step. Ano yung third na step? Pagsama-samahin or we group the terms with similar variables. Okay? So in this case, x squared, and then itatabi lang natin si negative 4x sa kanya, negative 4x. And then si y squared, then we simply bring down 5. Since na-group na natin sila, let's proceed sa next step. Anong next na step dyan? I-add natin sa magkabilang sides yung square of half ng coefficient ni x at ni y. So in this case, ang coefficient ni x ay negative 4. So negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Okay, so this will be, we bring down x squared, then we bring down negative 4x, and we add to both sides positive 4. This will be 5 plus 4. So in this case, since walang term dyan na may y na hindi na naka-square, we simply bring down positive y squared. So this will be positive y squared. So wala natin idadagdag doon sa kabila kasi wala naman tayong dinagdag dito. Ang dinagdag natin dito ay yung term nakasama doon sa trinomial na mayroong x. Okay, so this is already a perfect square trinomial. So anong kailangan gawin dyan? We factor out. Ang factors nito ay una, the first term of the factor will be this, the square root of x squared. Square root of x squared is x. The square root of 4 is 2. And then yung sign that separates them, the operation that separates the two, depends on the sign of the middle term of the trinomial. So since negative ito, subtraction ng operation nila and then squared. Plus y squared is equal to 5 plus 4 is 9. This is the standard form of the circle. Okay? And then the center, how can we find the center? Of course, alam natin, this is 2. H is equivalent to 2. And then, since wala siyang kasama, automatic na ang value ni k ay 0. Okay? Then, our radius will be equivalent to 9. R squared is equal to 9. We extract square roots. We have r is equal to 3. Okay?
For the activity, do activity 3 entitled Find My Parts. Again, submission of all the outputs will be on Friday. Another one, do exercise 2, which contains the following. Write an equation of a circle in the standard form if the center is at negative 1, 0 and radius r is equal to square root of 3. Number 2, express in the general form the equation of the circle in number 1. And lastly, given x squared plus y squared minus 6x plus 4y minus 20 is equal to 0, give the center and radius of the circle. Again, submission of all the outputs will be on Friday. Let's proceed in the problem solving and applications part. First example, find the standard equation of the circle whose diameter has endpoints negative 5, 3, and 7, and 11. For the solution, watch this video.
Okay, so this is a bit challenging example. So we are asked to identify the standard form of the equation of the circle whose diameter has endpoints negative 5, 3, and 7, and 11. Okay, so in this example, dito natin magagamit yung midpoint formula, magagamit dito yung distance formula. Okay, so how are we going to solve this one? So, syempre, malalaman natin or mahahanap natin yung standard form ng equation ng circle kapag alam natin yung value ni h and k. So, ano yung value ni h and k? Yun yung coordinates ng center at kung alam din natin yung radius. Okay, so since given si diameter, ano ba yung kalahati ng diameter? Half of the diameter is what? Half of the diameter of a circle is the radius. Okay, so at kapag hinati natin into two equal parts yung diameter, syempre yung isa doon, yun yung magiging radius niya, at yung midpoint ni diameter, yun yung ating center. Okay, so let's try to identify first the midpoint of the diameter. Okay, so how do we do that? Of course, we use the formula m. We have x sub 1 plus x sub 2 all over 2, and then y sub 1 plus y sub 2 all over 2. So let's consider this as x sub 1, y sub 1, and then x sub 2, y sub 2. So this will be x sub 1 is negative 5 plus 7 all over 2, and then this will be y sub 1 is 3 plus 11 all over 2. So continuing the process, simplifying further, this will be negative 5 plus 7 is positive 2 divided by 2. Then 3 plus 11 is 14 divided by 2. So therefore, the midpoint and the center of the circle that we are trying to find will be 1 and 7. Okay, so since meron na tayong center, ang kailangan na nating hanapin ay yung radius. Okay? So since this is the midpoint, the center is also the midpoint, paano natin mahanap yung radius? Okay, so mahanap natin yung radius how? By substituting or by using the distance formula and using this one and one of the points which is given. Okay, one of the given points. Isa-substitute natin yon doon sa ating distance formula. Kasi, for example, para ma-visualize ninyo, ito yung circle na sinasabi, ito yung diameter niya. Kapag kinuha natin yung midpoint, syempre, nandito siya. Okay? Ito yung midpoint. This is the midpoint. At mahanap natin yung diameter kapag ginamit natin, yung radius, kapag ginamit natin yung point na to, at yung point na to. Okay? So, since this is the center, and the midpoint of the diameter, at ito ay mga endpoints ni circle, pwede nating gamitin yung isa sa mga yan at itong center na to para mahanap si radius. Okay, so let's consider this is the center, which is 1 and 7, and this will be, for example, itong point na to is point P, which is 7 and 11. So we have the distance between the point C and point P can be found in this process. Okay, so for example, this will be x sub 1, y sub 1, sub 2, y sub 2. So this will be 1 minus 7 squared plus 7 minus 11. So continuing the process, we have 1 minus 7 is negative 6 squared. Then 7 minus 11 is negative 4 squared. Simplifying further, we get negative 6 times negative 6 is positive 36. Then negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. So combining the two, 36 plus 16 is equivalent to 52. We arrive at this part, square root of 52. Yan na bang final answer? Hindi pa, kasi pwede pa siyang i-simplify. So, ang factors ni 52 ay 4 at 13 So simplifying further, we can separate the two. Okay, square root of 4, then square root of 13. So alam naman natin ng square root of 4 ay 2. Tama? So square root of 4 is 2, and then square root of 13. Therefore, ang ating radius ay 2 square root of 13. So since meron na tayong alam na natin yung center at ang radius, we can identify immediately the standard form of the circle. Okay? Okay, so since meron na tayong center at yung radius ng ating circle, we can identify na yung standard form niya. How? Of course, by substituting the values of h, k, and r doon sa formula na x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. So ano yung value ng h natin? H is positive 1. So we simply write there 1. Then we copy squared plus y minus the value of k is 7. And then r squared is, the value of r is 2 square root of 13. So 2 square root of 13, then e square pa natin. Okay? I forgot to indicate the squared term, the squared here. So we say, bring down x minus 1 squared, then y minus 7 squared is equal to, papaano natin siya i-simplify, we distribute the squared to all the terms here. So we have 2 squared is 4, and then we have square root of 13 squared, maalis na yan, so that will be 13. Okay, so x minus 1 squared, so y minus 7 squared is equal to 52. This is the standard form of the equation of the circle. Understood?
For the next problem, a seismological station is located at the coordinate 0, -4, 4 kilometers away from a straight shoreline where the x-axis runs through. The epicenter of an earthquake was determined to be 6 kilometers away from the station. The question is, find the equation of the curve that contains the possible location of the epicenter. So for our solution, since the epicenter is 6 units away from 0, -4, it could be any points of a circle with center 0, -4 and a radius 6. So since meron na tayong center, given na rin si radius, we can now determine the equation of the curve. Okay, so all we have to do is to substitute h, k, and r sa formula na ito. So substituting h, which is 0, k, which is -4, and r, which is 6, we have x minus 0 squared plus y minus -4 squared is equal to 6 squared. So as you can see, since negative yung k, enclose ko siya using parenthesis. So simplifying further, we get x squared plus y plus 4 squared is equal to 36. This is the standard equation of the curve. For the second problem, if furthermore the epicenter was determined to be 1 kilometer away from the shore, find its possible coordinates. Then after finding, i-round off down natin to 2 decimal places. So in the problem, it was mentioned there that the seismological station is at 0, -4, 4 kilometers away from the shoreline, at yung shoreline ay yung x-axis. Ibig sabihin, yung 1 kilometer dito, yung 1 ay ang ating isa-substitute kay y. So, kung babalikan natin yung problem, yung coordinate ni yung 0, -4, 4 kilometers away from the shoreline, yung shoreline x-axis. So, ibig sabihin, yung distance nung epicenter doon sa x-axis ay 1. So that means yung value na 1, yan ay ang ating y. Okay, so we substitute now yung value na y, which is 1, doon sa ating nakuha na standard equation of the circle. Solve for x when y is equal to 1. So doing so, we have x squared plus 1 plus 4 squared is equal to 36. 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. Then 5 squared is equal to 25. So we transpose 25, it will become -25. Then 36 minus 25 is 11. Extracting square roots, we have x is equal to positive and negative square root of 11, which is equivalent to positive and negative 3.32. That is the case if y is equal to 1. Pero hindi naman na-mention doon na unidirectional lang, hindi naman sinabi na fix yung position niya since we are dealing with a circle, hindi lang positive. We will also consider the value for the negative. Okay, so solve for x when y is equal to negative 1. Substituting negative 1 in our standard equation, we have x squared plus negative 1 plus 4 squared is equal to 36. X squared plus, we have 4 minus 1 is 3. Then 3 squared is equal to 9. We transpose positive 9 to the right side, it will be negative 9. We have x squared is equal to 36 minus 9 is 27. So extracting square roots, it will give us positive and negative 27, which is equivalent to positive and negative 5.2. Therefore, the possible coordinates on the curve of the epicenter are 3.32 and 1, negative 3.32 and 1, 5.2 and negative 1, and negative 5.2 and negative 1. Okay? So for the activity, do activity 4 entitled Perfect Match. Again, submission of all outputs will be on Friday.